It was the final regular class day of the term. At the end of the final regular class in the humanities courses I was used to taking was usually the moment when the younger professor would try to make some kind of hip, self-mocking summation. Mr. Gordon, would you briefly summarize what we've learned over the past 16 weeks, please? As well as instructions about the logistics of the final exam or paper and final grades and perhaps wishes for a good holiday recess. It was 2 weeks before Christmas, 1978. In advanced tax, though, when the substitute turned from raising the screen, he gave none of the bodily signals of completion or transition to final instructions or summary. He stood very still, noticeably stiller than most people stand when they stand still. Now, thus far, he had spoken 8,206 words, counting numeric terms and operators. The older males and Asians all still sat there, and it seemed that this instructor was able to make eye contact with all 48 of us at once. He said, "You will want something of a summation, then, an hortation." Now, it is not impossible that I misheard him, and what he actually said was exhortation. He looked quickly at his watch, making the same right-angled movement. "All right," he said. "All right, then. Before you leave here to resume that crude approximation of a human life you have heretofore called a life, I will undertake to inform you of certain truths. I will then offer an opinion as to how you might most profitably view and respond to those truths." I was immediately aware that he didn't seem to be talking about the advanced tax final exam. He said, "You will return to your homes and families for the holiday vacation, and in that festive interval before the last push of CPA examination study, trust me, you will hesitate. You will feel dread and doubt. This will be natural. You will, for what seems the first time, feel dread about your hometown chums' sallies about accountancy as the career before you. You will read the approval in your parents' smiles as an approval of your surrender. Oh, I have been there, gentlemen. I know every cobble in the road you are walking. For the hour approaches to begin in that literally dreadful interval of looking down before the leap outward. To hear dolorous forecasts as to the sheer drudgery of the profession you are choosing, the lack of excitement or chance to shine on the athletic fields or ballroom floors of life heretofore. Not true. Some of it I didn't quite get. I don't think too many of us in the classroom have spent a lot of time shining on ballroom floors. But that might just have been a generational thing. He obviously meant it as a metaphor. I certainly got what he meant about accounting not seeming like a very exciting profession. The substitute continued, "To experience commitment as the loss of options, a type of death, the death of childhood's limitless possibility, of the flattery of choice without duress. This will happen. Mark me. Childhood's end. The first of many deaths. Hesitation is natural. Doubt is natural." He smiled slightly. "You might wish to recall then, in 3 weeks' time, should you be so disposed, this room, this moment, and the information I shall now relay to you." He was obviously not a very modest or diffident person. Now, after one or two other comments, with his hand still clasped behind his back, the substitute continued, "I wish to inform you that the accounting profession to which you aspire is, in fact, heroic." Please note that I have said inform, not opine, or allege, or posit. The truth is that when you soon go home to your carols and toddies and books and CPA examination preparation guides, what you stand on the cusp of is heroism. Continuing on without pause, he said, "Exacting, prosaic, banausic to the point of drudgery sometimes, often tedious, perhaps, but brave, worthy, fitting, sweet, romantic, chivalric, heroic." When he paused, it wasn't just for effect, at least not totally. "Gentlemen," he said, "by which I mean, of course, latter adolescents who aspire to manhood. Gentlemen, Here is a truth. Enduring tedium over real time in a confined space is what real courage is. Such endurance is, as it happens, the distillate of what is today in this world neither I nor you have made, heroism. Heroism. He made a point of looking around, gauging people's reaction. Nobody laughed. A few looked puzzled. I remember I was starting to have to go to the bathroom. In the classroom's fluorescent lights, he cast no shadow on any side. By which, he said, I mean true heroism. Not heroism as you might know it from films or the tales of childhood. You are now nearly at childhood's end. You are ready for the truth's weight, to bear it. The truth is that heroism of your childhood entertainments was not true valor. It was theater. The grand gesture, the moment of choice, the mortal danger, the external foe, the climactic battle whose outcome resolves all designed to appear heroic, to excite and gratify an audience. An audience. He made a gesture, I can't describe it. Gentlemen, welcome to the world of reality. There is no audience, no one to applaud, to admire, no one to see you. Do you understand? Here is the truth. Actual heroism receives no ovation, entertains no one. No one queues up to see it. No one is interested. He paused again and smiled in a way that was not one bit self-mocking. True heroism is you alone in a designated workspace. True heroism is minutes, hours, weeks, year upon year of the quiet, precise, judicious exercise of probity and care with no one there to see or cheer. This is the world. Just you and the job at your desk, you and the return, you and the cash flow data, you and the inventory protocol, you and the depreciation schedules, you and the numbers. He went to the flag stand in the corner of the room and retrieved his hat, a dark gray fedora, old, but very well cared for. Instead of putting it on, he held it up aloft. A baker wears a hat, he said, but it is not our hat. Gentlemen, prepare to wear the hat. You have wondered perhaps why all real accountants wear hats. They are today's cowboys, as you will be, riding the American range, riding herd on the unending torrent of financial data, the eddies, cataracts, arranged variations, fractious minutia. You order the data, shepherd it, direct its flow, lead it where it's needed in the codified form in which it's apposite. You deal in facts, gentlemen, for which there has been a market since man first crept from the primeval slurry. It is you, tell them that, who ride, man the walls, define the pie, serve. There was no way not to notice how different he looked now from the way he'd appeared at the beginning. Ultimately, it wasn't clear whether he'd planned or prepared his final hortation or exhortation or not, or whether he was just speaking passionately from the heart. His hat had to be at least 20 years old. When he raised his arms in conclusion, one hand still held the hat. Gentlemen, you are called to account. Thank you.